A shadow has been cast across the Middle East, one that stretches all the way to Beijing. Iran's military just unveiled a missile system unlike anything it's ever had before. But this isn't just an upgrade, it's a message written in steel, powered by China, and aimed at shifting the global balance of power. What exactly is this new system? Why is China behind it? And most importantly, what does it mean for the rest of the world? While the headlines often focus on sanctions, summits, and secret deals, one of the most important alliances of the decade is forming quietly and strategically. China and Iran are no longer just trade partners. They are now defense collaborators. The result? A cutting-edge missile system that combines Chinese precision engineering with Iranian strategic ambition. At the center of this storm is Iran's new Fateh-X missile system, a leap in both range and guidance accuracy. Unlike previous Iranian missiles, the Fateh-X is rumored to be built on the framework of China's DF-12 ballistic missile tech, short-range, mobile, and deadly accurate. Analysts suggest it can strike targets over 1,000 kilometers away, evade radar detection, and deploy from mobile platforms, all hallmarks of Chinese tactical systems. Officially, Beijing denies direct military transfers to Iran, but defense intelligence reveals a different picture: dual-use technology, satellite navigation support, and Chinese advisors embedded in Iranian R&D. Why would China take such a risk? The answer is layered: geopolitical leverage, energy security, and a weakening of Western military influence in the region. This isn't just about one missile or one country. The U.S., Israel, and Saudi Arabia are now recalibrating their defense postures. Washington has already increased surveillance in the Strait of Hormuz, while Tel Aviv is reportedly preparing new countermeasures. Meanwhile, Russia watches silently, likely pleased with a growing rift in U.S. strategic dominance. This new missile system represents more than firepower. It's a geopolitical shift. As China backs Iran militarily, a new axis of power is forming, one that doesn't just threaten regional stability, but dares to challenge the global order. Is this the start of a new Cold War in the Middle East, or simply the first spark of something far more unpredictable? One missile system, two powerful nations, and a world watching nervously. The pieces are moving, and history may be rewritten. In Riyadh, the mood is shifting. Saudi Arabia, long relying on U.S. military protection, is now exploring its own advanced defense capabilities, and even back-channeling with nations it once viewed as rivals. The same is true in Turkey and the UAE, where military modernization has gone into overdrive. The China-Iran partnership isn't just igniting new arms races. It's reconfiguring alliances. Old enemies are talking. Longtime allies are drifting. And everyone is preparing for a world where American influence is no longer guaranteed. For Israel, the stakes are existential. Iranian missiles with Chinese targeting precision could potentially overwhelm the Iron Dome or strike key infrastructure before a counterstrike can be launched. In response, Israel is doubling down on its cyber capabilities, drone swarms, and hypersonic interceptor programs. But it's also lobbying hard in Washington, pushing for a new defense pact that would formalize military retaliation should Iran attack. The United States, meanwhile, faces a dilemma. Confronting Iran risks direct escalation. Confronting China risks economic fallout. But ignoring this axis could upend decades of hard-won strategic balance in the Middle East. In response, the Pentagon has accelerated its pivot to Asia while quietly reinforcing its presence in the Persian Gulf. Think: stealth deployments, naval repositioning, and intelligence sharing like never before. This isn't just a military confrontation. It's a technological one. At the heart of these missile systems are advanced microchips, satellite systems, and AI-powered targeting software. With China supplying the backbone, Iran is fast becoming a regional tech military power. And that raises a dangerous question. What happens if this technology spreads? To Syria? To Hezbollah? Or to other countries eager to challenge Western dominance? The missile system itself is just the tip of the spear. Beneath it lies a much deeper transformation of global alliances, of regional power structures, and a fragile peace that has, until now, held much of the world together. China and Iran have just lit a match in a room full of dry fuel. The world is watching, but is anyone ready to stop the fire? The missile has launched. The message is clear. What comes next is anyone's guess. To understand China's interest in arming Iran, we must step back from the battlefield and look at the map. Iran sits at the crossroads of Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, right along the Belt and Road Initiative's most sensitive corridors. By strengthening Iran militarily, China isn't just supporting an ally, it's protecting its trillion-dollar economic routes. Oil pipelines, trade railways, and digital infrastructure all pass through this region, and all of it needs to be secured. So this missile system, it's not just a weapon, it's a warning. Interfere with China's trade empire and face a two-front geopolitical backlash. The West has long relied on sanctions to weaken Iran and deter China, but that playbook is becoming obsolete. Iran, with China's backing, has developed a shadow economy. Crypto transactions, barter deals, yuan-based trade, and now, even military supply chains that sidestep Western controls. Sanctions that once crippled nations now barely dent them, especially when two sanction giants join forces and write their own rules. While missiles draw headlines, the real battle may already be underway. Online, joint cyber units between China and Iran are rumored to be testing offensive systems designed to cripple critical infrastructure, power grids, defense satellites, even banking systems. Iranian hackers have grown increasingly sophisticated, allegedly receiving AI-based tools and training from Chinese cyber labs. It's not about launching a war. It's about disabling a country before the war even begins. Then there's the elephant in the room, nuclear ambiguity. With Iran's enrichment capabilities growing and its missile range expanding, intelligence circles are now quietly reassessing the country's nuclear breakout time. Some fear that with Chinese protection and advanced delivery systems in place, Tehran could soon cross the threshold from nuclear threshold state to actual nuclear power. And that changes everything. This alliance, this missile, marks more than just a shift in regional power. It signals a decline of old orders, of treaties ignored and of red lines blurred. The world isn't moving toward another Cold War. It's moving toward something far less predictable, a world where tech empires, energy corridors, and ideological rivalries collide without warning. Not cold, not hot, but constant. We used to count missiles. Now we count moves, economic, digital, strategic. And this latest move may have already changed the game forever. When powerful nations push boundaries, others take notes. North Korea, Venezuela, even Myanmar, each watching, learning, and in some cases, quietly reaching out to Beijing or Tehran. Why? Because the old world order, where U.S. approval was required for power, is fading, and China and Iran are offering a new template. Resist the West, build your own network, and survive through strategic defiance. This growing axis of sanctioned states isn't isolated. It's becoming connected, and missile technology is only the beginning. Western officials are increasingly alarmed, not just by Iran's capabilities, but by how quickly they're being shared. Already, rumors swirl of missile components quietly sold to proxies across the Middle East, Hezbollah, the Houthis, even elements in Iraq and Syria. And while the world focuses on visible launches, what's truly dangerous is what's moving in containers, hidden in convoys or embedded in private tech shipments. This isn't just an arms race. It's a weapons web, spanning continents, camouflaged by trade and backed by major powers. Missiles are one threat, but drones and now hypersonic vehicles are redefining warfare at speed. China is a global leader in hypersonic glide vehicle development. Iran has recently showcased new kamikaze drone tech that mirrors designs seen in Chinese military expos. Imagine this. Swarms of AI-guided drones, paired with precision hypersonic missiles, launched from mobile Iranian platforms, all coordinated through Chinese satellite guidance systems. The battlefield isn't just getting smarter. It's getting faster, too fast to stop unless countermeasures evolve just as quickly. But perhaps the most overlooked aspect of this alliance is its global ambition. Iranian and Chinese military advisors have already been spotted in parts of Africa. Satellite-based negotiations, arms for minerals deals, and military training camps are quietly spreading beyond the Middle East, beyond Asia, and into the global South. In Latin America, Chinese radar systems and Iranian drones are quietly appearing in countries with long-standing friction with the U.S. It's not just about dominating one region. It's about contesting the entire globe, one relationship, one base, one missile system at a time. There comes a moment in history when the rules quietly change, when the old boundaries no longer hold, and new powers decide they no longer need permission to act. We may be living in that moment now. With Iran's new missile system, backed by Chinese might, that shift is no longer theoretical. It's been launched, literally. And what follows will test the resolve of nations, the strength of alliances, and the very fabric of global stability. The missile changed more than a battlefield. It may have changed the world. The missile may have been a spark, but the fire is now global. China and Iran's alliance is just the beginning of a much broader recalibration. Across the world, nations are rewriting the rules of engagement, defense, and diplomacy. The old order, dominated by American hard power, European diplomacy, and international consensus, is being tested by a new one, informal, decentralized, and defiant. What began as a quiet missile test may soon echo in cyber vaults, economic networks, and even space. This isn't about who has the most missiles. It's about who adapts fastest in a world where trust is thin and risk is everywhere. In ancient strategy, the most dangerous enemy is the one who changes the battlefield before the first shot is fired. That battlefield has now changed, across borders, beneath firewalls, and above the stratosphere. Iran and China have made their move. The question now is not who saw it coming, but who will be ready for what comes next. This is no longer a Cold War. It's an evolving war, one fought in every domain, every decision, every alliance. And it has already begun.